Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel and another Football Manager video with Brighton and Hove Albion. Today is the start of the fourth and final season in this save. Lots and lots to look forward to for the season ahead, including a Europa League campaign. Hopefully a couple of decent cup runs would be nice and a strong league position at the end of it. Also lots to look forward to in today's episode, along with the opening game of the season against Sheffield United at the Amex, as well as the much-loved transfer special. So if you're looking forward to today's video and still enjoying the series, please do drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you haven't done so already. Lots planned for FM22. We are not too far away from it now. Also, big shout out to Colin, who became the first Patreon of the channel. I did open the Patreon up at the end, towards the end of last week. So for anyone that is interested in supporting the channel a little bit further, links to that are down in the description below. So big shout out to Colin. Thank you so much. Right then, before we get into our first game of the season against Sheffield United, let's have a look at the new signings. Now, bear in mind, we didn't have much money to spend. The club's finances are not in a good state. We're 15 million in the green at the moment, but towards the end of last season, we were 34 million in debt. We only got an original transfer budget of 23.2 million. We've got 10 left, but that's because we've had a couple of sales as well. We've moved a couple of players out of the door, and we've only made 2 signings. However, they are exciting signings. They're not names that you are going to recognise, because they are both new gens and they are both wonder kids. We'll start with the first one, that is Roberto Gil, who we got from Atletico Madrid on a free transfer. I felt that we needed a little bit more cover at right back just to push Tariq Lamptey a little bit. He is down as a wonder kid and he looks as though he's going to be very, very good. 19 years old, from Spain, 13 marking, 15 tackling. He's got some decent mentals about him, including 18 positioning, 16 teamwork. Work rate could do with being a little bit higher, but he just got 15 determination. Physicals aren't too bad either. I anticipate, especially with the campaign hopefully being extended this season because we're in the Europa League, we're going to have more games to play. I think he's really going to push Tariq Lamptey. And the second one is a Spanish counterpart, Ismail, who we bought from Valencia. We paid his release clause that was just £18.5 million. This guy, 18 years old, looks absolutely class, and he is going to play a ton of games for me this season. He is valued now at £27 million, 38.5k a week. The only way I could get him was as a star player. But just look at some of the attributes on him. I couldn't resist. 16 first touch. Passing needs to go up a bit. It's only at 12. But 16 technique, 16 vision, 17 decisions, 16 composure, 18 balance. Another wonder kid. This guy is going to be incredible. And if we have a look at his contract, we did have to put a minimum fee release clause in there. £99 million. And we're only going to get to use him for 1 season. But let me know what you guys think of him in the comments. To me, he looks as though he could be absolutely outstanding. 6'3", and he's going to be an absolute powerhouse in the middle of midfield. So they're the 2 signings. We may, with the 10 million left, have a look at potentially getting another striker in. These are the outs. If I just go back to last season, there were a few at the back end of the last thing. I hope that this changes in FM22. So John Paul Van Heck has gone on loan to Blackburn. Zakiri's also gone on loan to Blackburn. Baluta has gone on a free to Middlesbrough. Never quite worked out for him here. We've also brought in £18.5 million worth of transfers. The biggest one is Aaron Connolly. He's gone to Norwich for £13 million. Again, it just didn't quite work out for him here. He had 1 decent season for us. Last year, he only played 5 games, didn't score a goal, didn't really feature much in the first season. Got 11 in 26 the season before, but the chunk of that was in like the first 10 games. He was top goal scorer early on in the season. The other biggest sale was this guy, Jack Leahy, who we sold for £4.2 million to Aston Villa, and I just don't see it. I really don't see where you'd pay 4.2 million for this guy. So I've absolutely snapped their hand off. He's a breakthrough prospect for them. he was never going to play for us. A few have gone out on frees. We've got a couple of loans. Taylor Richards has gone to Charlton Athletic. So yeah, not really much going on in the summer transfer window. The bulk of it that we brought in was from Aaron Connolly. So it has been a little bit of a difficult transfer window, but when I look at our squad depth, I actually think that we are a little bit stronger this season. We've got a few players out the door that we didn't need. We're solid in the goalkeeping department. We've got 2 good left backs. We've got 2 good right backs, 4 decent centre backs. You could argue this is still our weakest area. Midfield is absolutely outstanding. McAllister, Ward-Prowse, Basuma, Vecino, Diawara, Ishmael as well. We've also got other players that can fit in there, like Matt Graham, Carbonic, Modder, as backup players. So I am more than happy with midfield. And up front, even though we've not made any changes in there, we still look healthy. Eddie Nketiah, Iheanacho, Carlos Vinicius, Neil Maupay, and then we've got the youngster as well, Jermaine Wallace, who's been attracting a lot of attention from big clubs, including Manchester United and Arsenal. Blackpool want him on loan. Again, though, this guy came through from our first youth intake in Season 1. I love him. I want to give him quite a bit of game time this year. Now, season expectation-wise, the board want us to finish in the top half of the Premier League, which we should be able to do, hopefully. The Europa League, they just want us to be competitive. We do enter at the group stage. It's not been drawn yet. That's probably going to be done between episodes. In the FA Cup, they want us to reach the 5th round. Of course, we start in the 3rd, and then we're expected to reach the 4th round of the Carabao Cup. So we enter at the 3rd round this season, purely because we are in Europe. And in terms of what the bookies think that we will finish in 8th position this year. So we're 150 to 1 to win the league. I don't think that's going to happen, but I would definitely settle for a top 6 finish and a good European run in our 4th and final season. And I think that is pretty much all we need to catch up on. In terms of who's been promoted this year, if we go back to last season, Southampton, Fulham and Crystal Palace. So we get to renew the rivalry with Crystal Palace. Of course, the game last night, as I record this, I've just finished watching it. Finished Palace 1, Brighton 1. Brighton absolutely stole the point towards the end there with Neil Maupay getting the equaliser. So yeah, Palace back in the Premier League. They went up through the playoffs. Fulham and Southampton will join them. So it'll be quite a standard-looking Premier League. No surprise teams in there. In terms of last season, of course, the teams that went down, Everton and Newcastle, 2 massive clubs going down last year. Blackburn Rovers as well, also relegated. I did have a look for a couple of Everton players just to see what was going on. I looked at Calvert-Lewin. He is still there at this moment in time. He's wanted by a few clubs, including Bournemouth, Leeds and West Ham, but he's got no relegation release clause. They're asking silly money. Same with Richarlison, Iwobi. They've got Hudson-Odoi in the team, Allen and Decore. They are absolutely going to walk the championship this season. I'd be surprised if they even lose 3 or 4 games. So first game of the new season then, Chelsea beat Arsenal by 1-0 in the early kickoff. Kai Havertz getting the winner in the 91st minute there. So a decent start for them. In terms of us, this is the side that is hopefully going to go out and beat Sheffield United on the opening day. Ramsdale will start in goal. Tsimikas, Senesi, White and Lamptey at the back. A very standard-looking back 4 for us that we're now used to. Ishmael makes his debut in the deep line playmaker role. Can't wait to see how he gets on alongside Basuma and Diawara. Again, very familiar up front. Iheanacho, Carlos Vinicius and Eddie Nketiah. On the bench, Dunk, Gill, Taylor, Vecino, McAllister, Wallace and Neil Maupay. Let's get into the first game of the season. We want to start with a bang. Now, we are missing James Ward-Prowse today. He is out through suspension, so we're not going to see him until the next episode. And of course, Sheffield United had a decent season last year, stayed up quite comfortably in the Premier League, also reached the FA Cup final. They could have ruined our entire season if they'd have beaten Manchester United, because that would have meant that they would have qualified for the Europa League and we wouldn't have done. So pretty quiet opening start to the game. Sheffield United will come forward. They've made 1 or 2 decent signings as well. I think they signed Jorginho, the Chelsea player that was released on a free, and they're through here with Ollie McBurney. Tries to get the shot away. Of course, Ramsdale playing against his former club today as well. Here's Sander Berge. Back towards McBurney again. There's Jorginho in the centre of midfield, the former Chelsea man. I did have a look at him, but I decided to go for Ishmael instead. Ball over the top. Bergwijn's in. Fires wide. We've been poor in the opening half an hour. Of course, we finished really well towards the end of last season. We won quite a number of games in a row, enabling us to qualify for Europe, and we need to try and bring that form back into this season. Here's Diawara going forward with our first attack. Ishmael looks out wide, finds Tariq Lamptey, who gets into the penalty area, finds a cross. Eddie Nketiah is there. Mensah clears the danger. All right, corner to be taken by Tsimikas, whipped in, cleared by O'Connell, and now Tsimikas is out of position. Fred is brought down, and Bergwijn will come forward for Sheffield United. He gets into the penalty area, cut back towards McBurney. Here's Jorginho. They're playing around with a little bit on the edge of the box. Can we pinch it off them? Sheffield United doing really well so far. Easily collected, though, by Ramsdale. So half-time, 0-0. Pretty tight game. Do you know what? I'm going to tell him that I'm not happy with the performance and then say that they've got the ability to make a real difference today. Get out there in the second half and change it. We've not been very good. I wanted us to be winning this game comfortably. Right, we've made a couple of changes. McAllister and Vecino are on for Ishmael and Diawara. We need to try and get something out of this game, you know. And Alexis McAllister, the substitute that we've just brought on, is now injured. Right, this is not great. What we're going to have to do is play Basuma in the DLP role. We're going to have to move Ben White forward into a defensive central midfielder. We'll actually just pop him in there. And we'll take off McAllister, and we're going to have to bring on Lewis Dunk. I was hoping to bring on a fresh striker towards the end of the game. Not the real start that we wanted this season, but can we find a late goal? It doesn't look as though it's going to happen. We've got 5 minutes of stoppage time as the clock ticks down on opening day, and it has finished. Brighton 0, Sheffield United 0. Not an ideal start. And Alexis McAllister is going to be out for 2 to 4 weeks. What is he? He pulled a calf muscle. He was literally on the field for 2 minutes. Can't have warmed up properly. So yeah, disappointing start, but we will get there. Pre-season wasn't too bad. It was a little bit patchy, but plenty of opportunities for us to take early on in the season. We've got Brentford away next. Leeds United at home as well, which should be a tough game. West Ham away, and then a really tricky end of September as we take on Manchester United, Liverpool and Arsenal. Now, I'm not sure when it is, but we will fit the games around the next episode, around the Europa League. As soon as we get to the point where they do the Europa League group stage draw, that is the point that I will get to, unless it's really early, and then we'll just come back for whatever the first group stage game is. I'm really not sure when they're played. So we'll leave the first episode of the season right there for you. There's a little early look at the league table. Still Brentford and Leeds left to play, but Liverpool, Manchester United both starting with a win, along with Chelsea. Tottenham losing on opening day. They're going to be under pressure this season. Palace starting with a defeat as well. But I'll see you guys in the next one, ready for either the first game of the Europa League or the Europa League group stage draw. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed, please do drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you haven't done so already. And I'll see you for the next episode very soon.